Morning, everybody. Check this out. What a beautiful sight. Sunrise over Louisiana marsh. Welcome back to another episode of Salty Bottom Outdoors. Back on the boat since the tournament in June. Feels good. I'm wearing a hoodie because it's 64 degrees this morning in South Louisiana, which is really nice. I only got a few hours to fish. I got to be off the water by like 10:30, 11 o'clock, so I got a super early start. I'm hoping to find some redfish, staying close to the launch. We got a little bit of a north breeze today, but we haven't had rain in a while, so the water should be cleaning up a little bit. Lazy falling tide all day, so I'm gonna stick to the main channels. You know, try to fish the mouths of some bayous and stuff like that where I can find some water moving. That's gonna be the challenge today, is finding moving water. Big shout out to Chad Champagne over at Matrix Shed. I got that big trip coming up in a few weeks, and he helped get me stocked up, got some new baits in, really excited. So I appreciate it big time, man. I'm gonna get on plane, get to the first fishing spot. Shouldn't be very far from here, unless I see something that changes my mind. As always, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button down below. I'll see y'all first fishing stop. All right, first stop of the morning. I'm not supremely confident in this spot, but we're gonna give it a whack. There's a couple of drains that come into the main pass up here. We got this north breeze that's supposed to turn east early this morning. Hope it does, because it's blowing a little worse than I hoped it would. So, like I said, first fishing trip out since June. Since June. It's middle of September. That's ridiculous. That's unacceptable. Completely unacceptable. I'm starting off this morning with the Matrix mullet, topwater stick bait. If you don't know what the Matrix mullet is right now, by now, and you live in South Louisiana, shame on you. It is a little rougher than I like to throw the Matrix. I really love the Matrix on calm days. I'm just gonna buzz this shoreline, see if I pick up any bites. If not, I'm probably gonna be on to the next spot pretty quickly here. I don't have a lot of time to fish this morning. What a gorgeous sunrise. I gotta take a picture of that. So I'm working with a falling tide this morning. Well, it's gonna be a falling tide all day. Tide change was at like 5 this morning, 4:35, something like that. About the time I was getting out of bed. But it's a lazy tide. It's only 0.6 to 0.8 feet, I think, depending on where you're at. And it's supposed to fall, you know, half a foot in the course of like 12 hours. So I'm definitely gonna be sticking to main bayous and passes. It's just one of those days where finding moving water is probably gonna be tough. The water's just not looking clean in this area. I mean, it's not terrible, but it could be better. So I think I'm actually gonna make a run a little further south away from the river. See if maybe I can't find a little cleaner water. I'll see y'all when I get there. Just turned the camera off a second ago and hooked the first catch of the day, and it is a 8-inch trout with that Matrix Shed all the way down his mouth. You were hungry, boy. Got eyes bigger than your mouth. All right. I'm trying. See you, buddy. Well, it's middle of September. Haven't even really had our first cold front yet. There's trout in the marsh. It's a good thing. I mean, it'd be better if he was bigger, but I like to see it either way. Skunk is out the boat. I did not get skunked today. If anybody asks, I caught speckled trout. Oh man, what the hell? Oh crap. So my cork broke off and something hit the lure. Look, it came back up. Dude, there ain't no tide movement today. I've been racking my brain trying to figure out where I can go where there's gonna be some tide movement. I got a red one. Woo! Turned the camera off because it'd been a minute. hadn't really caught anything. Found this guy, stay out of the trolling motor. Nice one, it's a nice one. Not huge, definitely a keeper. 18 inches or so maybe. All right, come on, guy. Nice, nice, nice. He smoked it too, man. It was no doubt that wasn't a snag. Oh, he's spunky too. All right, come on. Where you at, buddy? He ain't giving up yet. He is not giving up yet. Oh, whoa, 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 whoa. Get out of front. Why are you trying to go in the trolling motor? Okay, fine, we'll come to this side. All right, come on. Here we go, here we go. All right, one more time, come on around. Come on. There we go. All right, first keeper in the boat. There we go. Beautiful. I'm gonna say 18 inch or so, something like that. I'm gonna measure him here in just a second. So let's see what we got. Oh, he's a 21. 21 inches, a little bit bigger than I thought he was at first. Not complaining. All right, buddy, get a good release on this guy. Come on. Come on. You're ready. See you, buddy. All right. All right. So now the skunk is definitely out of the boat because that was a 21-inch keeper and a nice fish. And I'm hoping to find a couple more around here. Sure, I'm glad I stopped in this bayou, boy. We're gonna resume drifting down this bayou. Come on, give me one more. Give me one more off this shoreline. I know you're in there. You gotta be a redfish in here somewhere. There's no way that's the only redfish in this area. Got a couple little trinasses, one on each side. And after that, it gets shallower and there's a lot of grass. So I'm probably going to get on the big motor and move across this bay. So I'll have the wind at my back for maybe some redfish cruising up along the edge of the grass line, hopefully. So what I just caught that fish on, this is a what I call the Marshman Mass-On Special. This is his go-to, and it just works. So I started using it. H&H Gold Spinner, 1/4 ounce Death Grip jig head, and a matrix shad. This happens to be ultraviolet. A couple little trinasses drain across this bayou, and then there's a pond over that way towards the railroad tracks. You can actually see some tide movement coming out of this pond. I don't know if that's the wind pushing the water. Maybe it's a combination of the wind and the tide. Hopefully that's the case, because I have not seen much in the way of moving water at all. Just had 2 takedowns in a row right there. Missed the hook set on both. I'm gonna slow down, sit here for a second and see if it was a spoof or if there's a couple of fish in here. Kind of feel like that might have been the only one. Nope, spoke too soon. That's a nice trout. Okay. There we go. If I was keeping fish, I think that'd be the first keeper trout of the day. Let's hit the spot lock. I don't know. He might keep. If he does, he'd be close. First keeper of the day, right there. First keeper speckled trout of the day. Not keeping today, but he'd be a keeper if I was. Let's see if there's a couple more. And it's the time of year when the smaller speckled trout start showing back up in the marsh. And the bigger ones will be in soon. It won't be that long. That's why I'm kind of checking out. Oh, big wake up there. That's why I'm kind of checking out what's going on in the marsh. I could run out to where people are catching the triple tail and the speckled trout and all that kind of stuff, but I'm on limited time, so I decided to basically pre-scout for this fall. We are on the dinker hunt today, boys. This might be the smallest speckled trout I have literally ever caught, and he can't be more than about 4 or 5 inches long. Good to see though, good to see. See you, buddy. Grow up, get big and strong. I think that's a new, well, if a PB is a personal best, PW? Is that a personal worst speckled trout? Is that a thing? Can it be a thing? Can we make it a thing? A personal worst fish? Once again, using that new Daiwa Coastal. I got it with my spinnerbait. I really like this rod for a replacement medium heavy. All the way through that bayou with hardly any bites, couple of takedowns, small fish on the cork. But that's all right, because where there's small speckled trout now, as fall kicks off, the big fish are gonna start moving in. So where you're catching little fish right now is not a bad spot to look in a couple of weeks when we get those first couple of cold fronts through here. Jump on a big motor and find a new spot. This is this bayou that I just trolled into is very dirty. You can see the water mixing right there. And find a new spot. I'll see y'all there. Probably the last stop of the day. Only got about an hour left to fish. I'm right by the launch. It's right over here. What's a missed? It's got to be itty bitty fish. So, like I was saying, probably the last stop of the day. I don't have any time left to fish. I got somewhere to be this afternoon. So I ran back towards the launch. I'm not far from the launch. About a 5 or 10 minute run from the launch. And got this bayou to Snakes Back here a little ways. Got some ponds back in the back. Hoping I can find a couple of redfish sitting at the mouths of some of these ternasses or something. Water clarity's not bad. Water movement. What water movement? Of course, I mean, that's been the story all day so far. Just no water movement. So once again, I found a bayou that drains from north-ish to south-ish, which is about the only time I found moving water is when I'm in areas that drain in that direction. This is it. This is the last stop, and I've actually got to burn it through here. Even if I catch fish, I can't stop. 'Cause my day is pretty much done. But I was pretty much just riding around through the marsh, scouting a little bit. You know, I wasn't really stopping. Just running through, looking for areas that look like they could hold fish in the coming months. Water clarity here is pretty bad, but I said I'm out of time, so I'm gonna fish this out. This bayou sort of snakes down through here a little bit and then comes back to the main bayou where I was at a little while ago. Oh, I love a jig bite in the wintertime on a narrow, deep bayou. I got a few videos doing that from this past fall and spring, and it's just a blast. If y'all hadn't seen those, y'all gotta go check them out. There's a gar hanging out underneath those weeds. A little spotted gar with his face underneath the weeds right there. I'm gonna scare him. It's not near as much water movement as I had hoped for in this bayou, but it's been the story all day, so I can't say I'm surprised. I'm just disappointed. That's a fish. There we go. There's the first green trout. I got my slam. I got my slam. Got me a little bitty old ditch pickle. What's up, fella? I'm not gonna complain. Itty bitty guy. See you, buddy. Hey y'all, thanks for sticking around this episode of Salty Bottom Outdoors. If you haven't already, please remember to hit that like and subscribe button. Today was slow. I expected it. This wasn't a full-blown fishing trip. Like I said in the video, I only had a few hours to fish. So pretty soon, it's late September, almost October, pretty soon we're gonna start getting cold fronts on a regular basis, which is gonna push the fish into the marsh. I decided to stick close to the launch and try to find out where these fish are gonna be holding once those cold fronts come through. I've preached this before in my videos. If you're not having a great day as far as catching fish, try to make it to where you find at least a couple of spots that you know are gonna hold fish when the conditions are right. And I did just that. I only caught a handful of fish, but the areas that I went to look really good, especially for the fall pattern. Pretty soon these fish are gonna be moving out of the fringe bays into the deeper bayous, especially once the water temperature starts to drop a little bit and they get more of a fall winter pattern. So I was looking for bayous that drained bays that have a little bit deeper water. They're going to have good tide movement. I successfully added 4 spots to my list of places I want to check out once those first couple of cold fronts hit. Just because you don't catch a lot of fish doesn't mean you didn't have a successful trip. I consider my day successful. It was a beautiful day, fun day on the water, caught a couple of fish, and found a few new spots that I haven't been to before that should produce for me in the coming months. I've got that big trip coming up soon. Kind of worried about it. This is going to give it away a little bit, but this hurricane is threatening to mess up our plans. I'm really hoping the hurricane misses the area that we're planning on going to. Fingers crossed, hoping and praying. Obviously, I hope it doesn't mess up any part of Florida, but hopefully it misses the area we're going to, because these plans have been in the work for almost a year. And I'd be pretty disappointed if we didn't get to go. So y'all stick around. I'm going to keep y'all updated. And I'll be leaving for this trip hopefully in a little over 2 weeks. Thanks for sticking around. Hope to see y'all here next time on Salty Bottom Outdoors.